Built by the British back in the early 1700s and became an important final sort of bastion of the British Empire all the way through the War of Independence. As you know, that sort of the war with the colonies, and with that separation, this became one of the only places where the British held a major presence in the Atlantic. And as a matter of fact, the United States had their eye on Bermuda. I think they still do. Anyway, it's one of the few colonies left around the world. There's like only a handful of colonies that call themselves an actual colony, discovering Bermuda in the first place. Juan de Bermudez. So if you look at some of these buildings up here, you see the darker brown stone? Well, that's not native to the island. That actually comes all the way from Cornwall in England. That stone was used as ballast. As you know, many of the sailboats, in order to create stability with these sailboats when they're crossing the Atlantic, they need to have a lot of weight in the keel. So that's what they used to bring, a lot of this stone, which was then used as part of the building materials. Now look at that building right up there on the hillside. That's called Casemates. Now Casemates was originally a barracks for about 300 soldiers, which oversaw the building of these buildings in the Royal Naval Dockyard. That then went on to become Her Majesty's Prison, affectionately known as the Channel View Hotel. Best incredible fast racing that you've ever seen of sailboats, clocking in at about 60 knots. Some of these boats are just incredible how they can be. The wind speed could be only like 50 knots because of the new technology with foils. These boats are able to exceed ridiculously fast speeds. So it's taken the whole level of the America's Cup up to another level of racing they used to use. But they also used to, wherever they went, they would drop off these wild boars, and then they would multiply. And that's exactly what happened in Bermuda. They really flourished here. So they came here, the British landed here, and they found thousands of wild hogs that the Spanish had dropped off, because a lot of times if a ship needed to be resupplied, they'd come back to Bermuda on their way back, because they'd use Bermuda as a landmark and then head south to the if you look over here, this is called, on my right hand side, this is called Mangrove Bay. Think about coming back to Bermuda. It's a great hotel, very first class. They got a beautiful little beach. I'll show you that on the way back on the other side. But this is definitely one of probably the little gems in Bermuda if you ever get a chance, even to visit. Maybe stop there for lunch, or maybe enjoy the sunsets. There are beautiful sunsets on the west end. Some of the Masonic Lodge. So sailing is one of the many sports that you'll find in Bermuda that actually Bermuda really excels at in the Olympics. We do very well for such a small country of only barely 60,000 people. And we're also very good at soccer. So we have quite a few Premier League soccer players that actually play in the UK. Now this building over here is the post office now, right? But growing up as a child, that's where I went to kindergarten. I was synagogue here for a while, but that was on the actual naval base. And when the Americans left, I'm not sure exactly where that synagogue is now. It might be sort of located somewhere in Hamilton, but yeah, we do have a small Muslim community, but primarily it's like Roman Catholics and Anglicans. Are you guys leaving today, or are you?
Yeah, this afternoon.
Sorry?
This afternoon.
Oh, what time are you leaving?
3 o'clock.
You have to be back at the ship at 2:30. Okay, good. And the original, the early houses built in Bermuda had this external tank, and the water would capture on the roof of that. You'd be surprised how much water they can capture in that little thing. As you know, in Bermuda it's like sort of subtropical, so we get quite a lot of rain during different types of season. And this is what's been particularly rainy last month. This last month has been much more rain than we've ever seen. So, but we don't get flooding as much. The roads get a bit flooded sometimes, but This is pretty cool. Do any of you want to go ahead and have a look inside? Don't all scream at once.
No.
I'm okay.
It's all Bermuda cedar. It's the original wood that was used in the building of the early houses in Bermuda. So excuse you, this is the real deal. I mean, carved how these do it. And it's the most beautiful smell to the wood. When you cut into it, oh my God, it's just and they say when they're blooming this late, it's going to be a really busy hurricane season. So we've already had one that kind of glanced us, didn't actually hit us, and that was last week. That's why we had some cancellations running within a very, very short span of time. This is called Ely's Harbor. It's a beautiful nature reserve on that island over there. But it's a nice little shelter for smaller boats, you know? Right there. One other thing about Bermuda, as part of that railway trail, these beautiful gardens on either side, all the way along, a lot of the farmland. Bermuda has a very long growing season. We don't have any frost. We don't have any real winters. It cools down. It gets cool like in the, it gets as cold as like 55 degrees, maybe. You know, with a wind chill factor, you can probably get it down to 50. But really, Bermuda was very well known for its long growing season. As a matter of fact, we used to export vegetables to New York. We were known as the garden necklace of New York. And you're going to start seeing some beautiful views along the way, the amazing color of the water here. The outpost for the U.S. Navy.
But it's closed now.
It's closed now, but it's they're turning it into a. They got other plans for it. There were some condominiums that went up, but they and it's going to be a complete mob scene because yeah, you went there yesterday. Oh, okay, so, but you can see but it's a beautiful beach, considered one of the prettiest beaches in the world. It's listed as the top 10. I think it's listed as number 3 or something like that. So Bermuda has lots of different sports. You know, cricket and soccer are two of the main sports, and this is a cricket field right here, one of the cricket pitches. And a cup match in Bermuda. Fields can produce so much vegetables in a relatively short period of time. Our premier is kind of like your president, but he's not elected by the people. He's elected by the actual government. They appoint who they want to see as to run the political party. That's how the system works in the UK. The same system that we have here, and we are completely independent of the United Kingdom, in as much as we run our own governmental affairs. We're as independent as you can get without becoming officially independent. In Bermuda, there is a representative of the King of England. But they really love Bermuda. They actually wrote a song called Tucker's Town. It's on their albums. You can find them out. But we got to know the band that I was playing with at the time at the 40 Thieves. We got to know those guys, and we actually set up a recording studio at a house just back there. We converted their garage. They wanted to have a place where they could start recording a lot of their demo work. So we the #1 golf course on the island. A lot of the PGA tours come down here to Bermuda, and this is where one of their premier destinations was mid-ocean. Now Tucker's Town is further that way. We're not going to be going that way because it would eat into too much of the tour. So we're going to be heading to St. George's. Let you guys get out, have a little wander about, maybe grab a little bite to eat if you want. We want to try to get you then to Hamilton by around about 1:30. And I'm trying to time it to get you back on the ship, get you back to the ship. 25 million upwards. There's a new build over here, look at that. Wednesday night, and they have quiz night, and you cannot move in the place. It's packed. With the locals. All the locals come here, the visitors. But a great place, the Swizzle Inn, where the original Swizzle was made. The saying goes, I think we even got Washington Dulles on there, Raleigh, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. You got JetBlue, you've got Continental, you've got all the major airlines. But this is the Grotto Bay. Really beautiful little spot. This is called the Castle Harbor. You got Ferry Reach on this side. And once again, see that line of pylons over the other side? That's the old railway trail, right? You see them crossing that bridge right there? That's the old pylons for the railway, which ran all the way into St. George's. These students from America come here to the island and study, and they do a lot of their final papers for a lot of their research is done right here on the island, the Bermuda Biological Station. They have a research vessel that goes out and monitors a lot of the sea temperatures, acidity, all of these different variables, and also marine life, and the effects of global warming on the island. Again, that's what makes a lot of St. George's very sort of like unique. These little sort of roads that you can barely drive down. I can drive this vehicle down there, but I choose not to today. But they got the Bermuda Perfumery right here. Look at that. These lovely little spots so you can walk down. But that's why you got to come back here again to really explore Bermuda and see what they have there. This is the Confederate Museum right here. They call it the Confederate Museum, but it's just I think they've changed it now. but this is the oldest church in the Western Hemisphere, St. Peter's. Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to go just out of St. George's at the moment. We're coming back and we're going to stop off, but I want to take you for a little tour around this beautiful area known as Tobacco Bay Valley. Is the mayor of St. George's at the time came home from the pub, which is right there on the square. I'll be showing you that on the way back. And on the way back, he was very, very drunk, and his wife, who had told him to be home before midnight, which he wasn't, threw his bed out of the window, and give the food that they had in store to the locals. They decided to just let it rot, and as a result, a lot of locals got together. They said, you know what, we're going to fix this. So the American ships that are off here, this is during the War of Independence, they sold gunpowder for the American Revolution against the British. This is what the Bermuda. So we were all kind of like on your side. So they are allowing the British so they stole the gunpowder from the British that had it stored up here at Gunpowder Tavern. They killed a sentry, and they sailed out here to the boats that were waiting offshore. This is Tobacco Bay, and this is where the actual gunpowder plot took place, right here. Beautiful little Tobacco Bay. A lot of our visitors right off your cruise ship, right here, right now. Great place to get a fish sandwich or a rum swizzle. We're going to be taking you into St. George's for that. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
And that's the Fort St. Catherine. I did a corporate function there for Nissan. I did two sales rep parties there, and the band I put together a 4-piece band for that. But that's what I do during the evenings. So it's my real passion, but this is what I do. I enjoy doing this as well.
Well, that had nothing to do with me. I seen that over in the stretch, and it was $10. That's what that is. But
these little small homes, I mean, as humble as some of them look, they're not that fancy, but they've been in the family home or the family tree for many years. This is a view of the actual St. George's itself. It's not a very big town. Our senior citizens will be staying there in their latter years of their life. If they're unable to look after themselves, it's a great little facility that we have here for our senior citizens. Heading back into St. George's. It's the very end of this.
Yeah.
Gotta go walk past the church. Up to the front. Okay. premier of the island, who did very well in the real estate game, Sir John Swan. He's now 93 years old. He's actually running for for re-election, but for another seat because he wasn't happy with the way things were going in the government. So he wanted to run again, but I think they realized he was a little bit long in the tooth. But lovely man, he really is. Played a lot of functions for him. Many occasions when he was with the premier of the island for many, many years. He's a well-respected politician. But I'm just coming into Reed Street. So we're like Front Street is the main street on that down there. We'll get into that in a minute. But I'm just gonna go this way first. It takes on a few of the government buildings along the way. If you look up here on the right, coming up just as we pass this building, see right there, with the terracotta. That's our House of Assembly. That's kind of like your. Not the White House, what do they call it? Your
Congress.
Yeah, the state capitol. It's kind of like ours. It's like where the two-party system we have along here. You've got some of the older shopping establishments like the English Sports Shop, the Calypso. I'm gonna get past that. I'm not gonna make it. Calypso. We've got HSBC, which is the Bank of Bermuda. Brown and Co. You've got Gosling's, where you want to pick up some black rum. Okay, I'm going to park for a little bit, guys. Let you guys kind of get. If you want to do a little bit of shopping, I'm going to look at my watch now. It says